Hello friends, welcome back to Digitalk. And if you are land up on this video, then I'm sure you would like to know the difference between wallet and the Keystores. Okay. And the difference is very straightforward. It's a very simple. But before that one, you have to understand few concepts. Okay. And once you have the complete understanding of that particular concept, then you will have a complete clarity on the difference between wallet and Keystores and where we use the wallets and where we use the Keystores. Okay, and on top of that, few more information is there that I'm going to share with you. Okay, so let us begin. So first thing that when we talk about the wallet and key store, okay, so the first step in configuring SSL is to configure a wallet or key store. So one thing which is common between your wallet and key store is it is used to store the SSL related configurations. Now, what are the SSL related configurations? So when we do the configuration of SSL, we have the public and private keys, right? And then based on the public and private keys, we get the certain kind of a certificates from the certificate authority, right? We have a server certificate, we have an intermediate certificate, and then we have a root certificate. So that means in a nutshell, we have our own public and private keys. Along with that, we have a different kind of a certificates, right? And to store all of this information along with the private key. Okay, we use the key store. So generally, if you're not very clear on the wallet, then I'm sure you have certain kind of a knowledge on key store. Okay, and even it is not, I'm going to clear you. Okay, in next few minutes. Okay, and so the basically the wallet and key store is a terminology that we use to store SSL related configurations. So what are the configurations or the items that we store in the key store or wallet that I have just said? You have a public and private keys, and then you have a different kind of a certificates, right? So now, what is the use of wallet? Where we use the wallet and where we use the keys to? And now what is the difference? And then what are the different ways to create the different type of wallets? Okay, so we have a three different kind of a wallets, and there are different commands to create that one. So let me first clear you on the difference between wallet and key store, and then we will see how we can create the different kind of a wallets. Okay, so different type of wallet and key store are that are available for use with SSL configuration for keys and certificates. So as I said, the wallet and key store that we are going to use, this is to store our SSL configuration related things. Okay, so now to understand the difference between wallet and key store, where exactly we use the wallet and where exactly we use the key store. So you have to understand two things. The first is the Java component and second is the system component. So specifically when we talk about the Oracle Fusion middleware component, okay, which is a suite of different products. For example, your Weblogic server, your identity management solutions, your web center, SOA Suite. There are a lot of different kind of a middleware products are there from the Oracle. Okay, however, all of the products are not completely built in the Java. That means all of the products are not completely based on the Java. Okay, so some of the components are bit different than the Java. That means they are built or developed in some other languages as well. Not completely, but they have a certain kind of a subsystems that has been developed in some other languages like C or C++. Okay, and some of the components are developed or built in the Java. Okay, so now based on that categorization, we have two kind of a component in Oracle Fusion middleware. The first is the Java component, and second is the system components. Okay, so that means in Oracle Fusion middleware, we have a two type of component. The first one is a Java component. Okay, it is very clear from the name as well. If it is a Java component, that it is completely built or developed in the Java. Okay, and we deploy it on the Java-based application server like Oracle Weblogic server. So that means a Java component is deployed as one or more Java enterprise application and a set of resources. Okay, so specifically when we talk about the Oracle Fusion middle products like as I said, Web Center, SOA Suite, IDM, identity management, some of the identity management solutions. Okay, like if they are built on the completely based on the Java, then what we do is we install the Oracle WebLogic server, which is called the Fusion middleware infrastructure. Okay, so Fusion middleware infrastructure is another name for the WebLogic server only, but it has certain more capabilities or functionalities that is required for the Fusion middleware applications. Okay, so when we installed the any of the Fusion middleware applications, so for that we installed the Fusion middleware infrastructure. Okay, and then we install the Fusion middleware software and which is deployed on top of your Java-based application server, which is the WebLogic server. So that means a Java component is completely built on basis on the Java and deploy on top of your WebLogic server. Okay. For example of Java component like Oracle WebLogic Server, SOA Suite, Web Center Content, Web Center Portal, these are the different components that is completely based on Java. Okay. That means it is completely deployed on top of your WebLogic server. Right. Now, second is the system component. Okay. So system components are built different than the Java component, and why we call them as a system component is that it is not completely built on the Java. The first definition you will see it is C-based system component. So what I understand from the C-based system is that system component of a particular software which is categorized as a system component, it is built on the C languages as well. That means it is not completely built on the Java. Okay, so if it is not completely built on the Java, it is not a Java-based software. That means you can't able to deploy it on the Java-based application server, for example, WebLogic server. Okay, you can utilize the WebLogic framework for the management of system component, but you cannot deploy the system component on top of your WebLogic server because they are not purely based on the Java. Okay, so that means a system component is not deployed as a Java application. So these are the system component because they are not developed in the Java language. So you are not able to deploy it on the WebLogic server or any other Java-based application server. Okay, so instead a system component is managed by the Oracle Process Manager and Notification OPMN. So if you have some sort of knowledge of the Oracle Fusion Middleware 11G component like the OHS, which is the web server or HTTP server from the Oracle, and if you know about some have certain set of knowledge of Oracle Internet Directory OID, which is the component of the identity management. Okay, so till the 11G, your OHS server or your OID component is completely managed by a utility which is called the OPMN. Okay, which is a Oracle Process Manager Notification. This is a utility which is used to manage your system-based component. Okay, so interface, for example, when we talk about the OID, which is the component of Oracle identity management. Okay, so it is, if you are saying that this is a system component, it is not a Java component. So what we can do is we can build a interface which we can use to manage our system component, for example, OID. Okay, so if we are designing an interface which is completely based on the Java, so what we can do, we deploy that particular interface on the WebLogic server, and then we can use that framework for the management of Oracle Internet Directory or the OID or the OHS. Okay, so this is the same terminology that has been adopted by the Oracle as well, specifically in terms of the system component. So if you have a system components, those cannot be deployed on the WebLogic server. So for that, yeah, it is they have bundled the system component software along with the WebLogic server, and the complete end-to-end management of the system component can be done by a graphical user interface that is get deployed on the WebLogic server. Okay, so now you have a two part when we talk about the system component in Oracle Fusion Middleware. The first part is the Oracle WebLogic server, where we deploy the front-end application. So if you have some idea of the Oracle Internet Directory, then you will have a ODSM console, which is used for the management of the OID. So that ODSM console is a completely Java-based component or interface. So that is completely deployed on your WebLogic server. Okay, and then we start and stop the internet directory that we can manage via the ODSM console or using the some different mechanism that has been provided by the Oracle. Okay, so now as I said, till 11G, the system components were managed by the OPMN utility, and from 12C onward, we use the node manager to control the system component. For example, if you would like to start stop the system component, okay, for that we use the node manager along with the WebLogic framework. Okay, so that means system components are bundled with the WebLogic framework, and WebLogic framework is helping us to manage the system component. Those are not deployed on your WebLogic. Okay, so this is the difference between Java component and system component. So Java components are purely developed based on the Java code, and it is completely deployed on top of your WebLogic server. But when we talk about the system components, they are not completely built on the Java. So it is a combination of the Java application server, that means WebLogic application server, along with the system component, and the interface that we deploy on the WebLogic it is used for the end-to-end management of the system component. Okay, so now when we talk about the key store, okay, so key store is used for the SSL configuration, or you can say for the storing of the SSL configuration related data when we configure the Java based component. Okay, and when we go for the system component, for example, the Oracle OHS or HTTP server for the Oracle Internet Directory OID, okay, there we use the wallet. Okay, so now the difference is very clear. If you are going to configure a Java-based component in the Oracle Fusion middleware like SOA Suite, Weblogic Server, Web Center Content, Web Center Portal, which is a completely a pure Java-based application, then we go for the key stores. And if we are going to work on the system component based middleware product, for example, the Oracle OHS, your Oracle OID, then we configure the wallet for storing the SSL related configurations like the public and private keys and the different kind of a certificate. So this is the difference between Java component and system component, and where we configure or where we use the key store and where we use the wallet. Okay. And apart from that, the Oracle database is also use the wallet. Now, apart from the key store and wallet, there is another concept as well for the key store, which is called the Oracle OPSS, that is Oracle Platform Security Services key store service. That means if we go further from the key store, then we have another type of key store, which is also called the KSS. Okay, and this KSS key store is specifically related with the Fusion middleware infrastructure, which is nothing only the WebLogic, but with some enhanced capabilities, and that has been designed or developed for the Fusion middleware application. Okay, for example, if you are going to install the Oracle SOA Suite, then the prerequisite is first you have to install the Fusion middleware infrastructure, and on top of that, we install the SOA, right? SOA Suite, and this is the same structure for the other middleware product as well, which is based on the Java. Okay, so now if you are going with the Fusion middleware product, then the default key store type is OPSS, which is called the KSS key store. Okay, and this is completely a database based key store. That means in the Fusion middleware product, the default key store is OPSS, and all the OPSS related data or the security related data is stored in the database. Okay, that means OPSS key store service provides an alternate mechanism to manage keys and certificate for message security. So this is an alternate way of managing the keys. The OPSS key store services make using certificate and keys easier by providing a central management and storage of key and certificate for all of the server in a domain. So traditionally what happens if we are going to use the traditional key store identity and trust, okay, so we have to import the certificates in each and every node. If we have a 4-node cluster of WebLogic server and we are going to import the certificate, then we have to import in each and every host identity and the trust, right? So, but if you are going to use the OPSS key store, which store the complete configurations or data in the database, so that means it is a centralized management of the data. And once you upload the certificates and keys in your OPSS key store, which you can do using the different mechanism that I'm going to explain you. So for that, the data security data is going to stored in a centralized location. That means you don't need to repeat it for each and every server. Every data, every server will going to access it from the central location, which is the database. Okay, so you use the OPSS key store service to create and maintain key store of type KSS. So in this OPSS key store, the type of key store that we created is called a KSS key store. Okay, so the KSS demo identity and demo trust key stores are pre-configured when you create a domain, and no additional configuration of these key stores is required. So that means just like the WebLogic server, when we install the WebLogic server, it comes with the default identity and default trust key stores, right? That I'm going to show you on the next screen as well. I'm sure you must have seen that as well from the WebLogic console. Okay, and so similarly, if you are going for the Fusion middleware product, any of the Fusion middleware product like SOA Suite, Web Center Portal, Web Center Content, okay, then the default SSL key store is the KSS. That means the KSS demo identity and KSS demo trust will be going to be configured there if you are going with the Fusion middleware infrastructure. And you can use the OPSS key store service with WebLogic server only if you have installed the Oracle JFR template on the WebLogic domain system. That means OPSS, as I said, it is a database based key store. That means you need a database in place, right? So when we go for a plain service with the WebLogic server, then we really don't need the database. But when we go for the Oracle Fusion middleware, then we must have the database in place, right? And this is one of the prerequisite because your security related information like the OPSS schema is get created in the database, right? So when we create the domain in the Fusion middleware, okay, then one of the major difference between a plain WebLogic and the Oracle WebLogic server infrastructure is the JFR, GRF template. Okay, there is an additional component that is there for to support the middleware applications, and one of the basic requirements for this GRF template is to have a database in place. So once we have a database in place, then we can use the OPSS key store, which is used to store the certificate information. Okay, and you specify the fully qualified path to the key store as a URI in the form of KSS colon double slash system slash key store. So this is the format how we define the KSS keys to. Okay, so you must have seen from the WebLogic console the location of the demo identity and demo trust. It is a location which is inside your WebLogic home server and lib. Okay, by default location. But when we going for a KSS key store in the Oracle Fusion middleware, then this is the format that we have to specify, and this I'm going to show you in the next screen as well. Now, the major difference when we talk about the generic JKS key store and the KSS key store. So, KSS key store can be edited. You can modify the KSS key store either from the Fusion Middleware Control tool, which is also called the EM console. You can use the WLST, you can use the REST APIs. But for JKS based key store, you have to use the key tool CLI, key tool command utility. And KSS is stored in the database, but the JKS is stored in the file system. Okay. And when we talk about the reusability and compatibility, so key store, KSS key store is product using the OPSS. That means whatever the Fusion middleware products using the OPSS, okay, they can use the KSS key store. And apart from that, other Java products can use the JKS. Those who do not have any dependency on the database. Okay, so this is the screenshot of the plain WebLogic server. So here you can see that the default identity and default trust store is the demo identity.jks and demo trust.jks, right? The default location you can see that server inside the server link. So this is a file system based key store with the JKS type, okay, which we have seen in the previous screen, right? We have discussed about the difference between KSS and JKS key store. So JKS is a file system based. Why we are saying file system? Because this is existing on the file system, right? This is the default location in case of a plain WebLogic server. Now, if we go for the same WebLogic server, but in case of the Fusion middleware, okay, then you can see here the demo identity and demo trust is mentioned as KSS colon double slash system slash demo identity. That means it is using the KSS key store. That means all the data, certificate data is stored in the database OPSS schema. Okay, and the same is for the demo trust as well. KSS colon double slash forward system and trust. Okay, so that means every time whenever you are going for the renewal of the certificates, then you have to upload your certificates in the KSS key store, right? And the second screenshot you can see it is a EM console screenshot, okay, and which you can see from the your EM console, okay, and where you have to go to the key store option, and inside the key store you can see the trust and demo identity. Okay, and if you want, then you can create your own custom identity and custom trust as well. So as of now, this is configured with the demo identity and demo trust certificate. But if you want to configure it with the third-party certificate, then you can create your own custom identity and custom trust, and then you can go for the configuration of the SSL of WebLogic. Okay, so now if we talk about the type of wallets and how to create, so now we have a three type of wallets. Okay, this is completely based on your requirement, what kind of a wallet you require. The first one is the password protected. That means your wallet will have a password. So every time you are going to do any kind of a operation like listing of the certificate which is there inside the wallet, to add a certificate in the wallet, to delete a certificate from the wallet, you need the password. Okay. Second is password protected with auto login. So that means the wallet is protected with the password, but it is allowing the auto login. That means for reading the wallet, if you going to read, that means if you're going to list the certificates from the wallet, then you don't need the password. But if you're going to do certain kind of a manipulation like the addition of the certificate, deletion of the certificate, okay, then it required a password. Okay, so where it is useful is that whenever we start our like the OHS or the OID, which is completely based on the wallets, okay, so to allow the auto login so that your OID and OHS can automatically read the wallets and then start the services, you can configure this kind of a wallet, which is called the password protected with auto login. So whenever you are going to add any certificate from the wallet or you are going to delete any certificate from the wallet, then you can specify the password. But when your services are going to start up, then it doesn't require any password. Okay, and third is the auto login only, which is completely open. That means it doesn't require any password. Okay, and whether you are going for the addition of certificate, deletion of certificate, or for the listing of the certificate, it doesn't require any password. So the command for the password protected is aura pki wallet create hyphen wallet and the location of the wallet. For example, you can see the aura pki wallet create hyphen wallet and the location of the wallet is given as u01 security and e-wallet. So this will create a folder with the name of e-wallet, and inside that it will create a file e-wallet.p12. And this is the first case when you are going to create a wallet with the password protected. So when you will run this command, it will prompt you for the password. Okay, that password will be for your e-wallet password, or otherwise you can specify with the hyphen password as well. Okay, so you can specify hyphen p in the password as well. Second is if you are going to create a password protected with auto login. So for that the syntax is same. You have to add one more uh, syntax there, which is hyphen auto underscore login. Okay, so that means once you will run this command to create the password protected auto login wallet, okay, it will create two files inside the wallet folder, which is e-wallet.p12 c-wallet.sso. Okay, it could be c-wallet.sso. Okay, so now why we have two files? Because when we create a password protected, it create a file e-wallet.p12, but when we create the password protected along with the auto login, so it create one additional file which is c-wallet.sso. Okay, again, if you run this command, it will prompt you for the password if you will not specify the hyphen p command. Okay, and that will be the password for your wallet. And third, there will not be any password for your wallet. So the syntax is aura pki wallet create hyphen wallet, the location of the wallet, and then auto login only. So you have to give the underscore only. Okay, that is completely the auto login only. Okay, so by this way, it will not prompt you for the password. It will automatically create a wallet, and inside that you will have a file called cwallet.sso. Okay, and this will be completely an open wallet. Okay, and this is not the recommended one. So most of the time, either we configure the password protected or password protected with auto login. So these are the different type of wallets and the commands how we configure them. Okay, and apart from that, the if you would like to convert the JKS to the wallet format, there is a certain requirement. There are certain products that only support the wallet, and anytime you have a requirement that you would like to convert your JKS based key store to wallet, then again you have a command for that one. So first you have to create an empty wallet, and then you can migrate your JKS key store with the to the wallet with the command which is on the screen, which is called aura pki wallet jks underscore 2 underscore pkcs12 hyphen wallet is the location of the wallet, hyphen pwd is the password of your wallet, then key store location and your jks password. By this way you can convert the jks to the wallet format. So thanks for watching this video and stay tuned for the next video.